Okay, where do I talk to you that?
I won't look.
You can be like cute and like monotone about it.
That's the thing. I'm going to lean into the fact that I am monotone and like not that expressive, and that's my thing now.
All you need is a niche on the internet.
Welcome to Between Two Salads. It's hard to define what a meme even is. Quinta Brunson, icon of a BuzzFeed golden era of the early 2010s, has a theory.
I compare them to like hieroglyphics, kind of. There are these pictures that we share that mean different things to different people, and memes are a form of communication that shouldn't be dismissed because it's how an entire culture of people communicate.
Art historian Ara Mergian has compared memes to aesthetic or anti-aesthetic strategies of the German anti-fascist art movement. As Mergian says, an aspect of the meme that is celebrated in progressive circles is its collective, almost authorless shareability. In that regard, it's related to the utopian thinking of some members of the early 20th century avant-garde, that there would be a progressive death of the author, as the artist's hand and individual voice became less important. Individual voices in different political subcultures can be subsumed into a kind of hegemonic culture. Dislodgement and displacement are the very engines of meme making. The form remains the same, while its framing is changed. That operation creates irony. That's how memes work. They're defined not just by their iterability, but also by irony. And that relates to what we could call an avant-garde genealogy of collage and the ready-made, of objects and images that are dislodged from their original context and thereby ironized. The idea is, the way memes are made and then shared can be viewed as inherently creative and even radical. But the fact is, memes are among the top driving forces of communication and culture today, and we're all still kind of trying to understand the phenomenon. I don't think we'll entirely understand them until an unknown time in the future, when we're able to view them retroactively. Fortunately, until that day comes, I was able to speak with Bianca Perez, also known on Instagram as Young Nihilist. In addition to making memes, she's also a collector of online oddities and absurdities. We talk about her accumulated experiences and observations while creating one of the most unique spaces on social media. And I'm really excited that you're here because I've been such a fan for a really long time.
Same. Literally mutuals.
Literally mutuals. How did you come up with the name Young Nihilist?
I used to change the name a lot according to just as much as the memes change. The name would reference the memes, and then I thought I want to build something so it's easier if you just stay the same name, same profile picture.
Yeah, the consistency.
Across, yeah. I guess I'm generally interested in philosophy, and I wanted something that's like a play on rap.
Yeah. Okay, pause, because I think Kevin's
the salads are here.
Oh, look at the salad delivery.
Thanks, salad man.
It would be funny to include that.
Oh, for sure, that's gonna, yeah.
What do memes mean to you?
How do they meme to me? Definitely escapism, first and foremost. It opened up a whole new world to me, not just virtually, but in real life. People that I could meet, friends I could make, places I could go.
And that's what people like about them, is their relatability and their shareability and the sense of connection. What's your favorite go-to meme?
Changes every day. Some of them just lose the crack.
Yeah.
The crack aspect of what makes it immediate, I have to share this.
That is true. There's a little high in a meme that
Well, I've never seen something like that before. I think that's why it's relatable to porn in that way. You know, putting yourself in front of the craziest images.
Yeah.
And just the most out there shit.
The shock value needs to extend.
That's why memes are almost illegible to anyone who's not us. My mom just fully doesn't comprehend what I do.
How did you explain it to her, or try to?
I mean, there's a certain level of memes that she's seen and that she relates to, and I was just it's like that, but I curate them and I make them and people enjoy it and people follow me and sometimes they give me money. It makes it real.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, these are real people that want to support you. That's so crazy. Which is the thing that I got the most hate for in the beginning.
What happened?
I mean, I was just crowdfunding for like essential stuff like a laptop. I'd never had a laptop until this. And people just like were not open to the idea of a content creator or somebody getting compensated for this. Really, people get very incensed at the idea that you're making money just on your phone.
Wow.
Whereas now it's like,
It's normalized. Yeah. You knew within yourself, I'm gonna need to monetize this. There's labor in this, there's work in this, and there's value in it. Like in my intro, I kind of describe you as like a collector of internet oddities and absurdities. That's
I like that, like a rickety old like antique shop owner. I mean, it changes for me day to day. Oh, I'm hosting parties, so that means I'm kind of a socialite. I'm like doing talks at colleges. I guess I'm more of like an academic, or you know, it's like shape shifting, just like cultural.
Like curator.
Yeah.
What's your process like of finding the stuff that you then curate?
The ancient art of scrolling, constantly mining. That's the work, actually.
That's what I'm thinking.
That people don't want to say is work.
And people appreciate it, I think, because then they trust your aesthetic and your eye and your sensibility to have that stuff delivered to them.
So you have to like follow very specific accounts, right?
Yeah, and the most important part is making sure no one else I know is following it. Because if they are, I'm like, I can't source from this place.
Oh, so your part of your main thing is to really like show people things that like they would not otherwise see.
Yeah.
I do believe this. Audiences respond to that. They know and respond to that kind of value. Whether they know, like, this is blowing my mind. Like, oh yeah, I haven't seen repeats, but I didn't know that's like a layer of the account that I like so much. That's part of why I like it. I wasn't aware of that experience as a user.
I try to choose things that seem untraceable, where it's like, it's clear this person didn't make this. It's kind of like the pirate aspect of just like, mine. I started out making my own memes and like watermarking them, and I think that's cringe now. Memes are for the people, and you shouldn't be gatekeeping stuff like that. Even though there is an argument about copyright and like artists' rights and what have you.
It can all exist at once, I think.
Yeah, exactly. There's like different tiers in the entertainment business of like who makes the content versus who consumes it. People who are in a more like mainstream level of entertainment go to pages like mine to get entertained. So it's like this weird exchange, and like if you're not willing to kind of extend some of your capital to the people who you come to be entertained by, it's kind of like, that's really stealing. You're watching my page while you're on set.
Exactly.
Kind of
and probably my page is informing some of what you're bringing to this much more profit-driven institution. What are patterns you've observed when running the account? What do people respond well to? What do they get mad about? What do they like? Like, what's
everything?
Yeah. Like, what do you see?
Mostly everything makes a certain kind of person very mad and incensed. Definitely, you can't critique the Me Too movement, okay? It's too soon, still. And also there's like this running joke now, because of me, I made it a joke, where people think I'm a man because they don't scroll far enough or like pay attention to see like, oh, that's a selfie.
But it's interesting they make that assumption based on like the energy of the account somehow.
Yeah, it like reads as male.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, because women aren't funny.
Right.
I must be a man. So they'll read into things and like knee-jerk reaction, like this is disgusting. You're so disgusting, you should kill yourself. Because they think I'm a man making fun of like women's issues. And they don't realize like that's internalized misogyny. It's different. It's cool. Anything political, like I've not only strayed away from that in my personal life, because I used to be like super red-pilled activism, like protest type person. And I just moved away from that because I got black-pilled.
Wait, what's black-pilled?
That's like when you don't give a fuck. Started out not caring and right back.
That's what the internet will do to you.
Yeah, because it's like there's no point. And I've kind of been in that world. I've like been around the activists and the protesters and all that stuff. And I'm like, the way you said like there's no hope for women. I'm like, there's no hope for like the whole class revolution thing that people keep talking about. To the point that the celebrities are talking about it. Like, this is really not gonna happen now.
So let's talk about the hopelessness that the internet can bring up sometimes.
Definitely when it's like those petty kind of like back and forths with people where they're just like arguing in bad faith, purposefully myopic, like they don't want to get through to you, they don't want you to get through to them. It's like, then what are we doing here? In the marketplace of ideas that we are in. To fight the URL to IRL pipeline, just like when things become real life. And it's like, oh my God, you're a real person with real issues. I did not sign up for that.
Yeah.
Let's put you back in the phone and let's block you real quick.
Because it's not an easy like lateral move from like interacting online, maybe tagging each other or DMing each other to like in person.
Here's
That's
my
hard.
address.
Yeah.
Pull up.
Because we're in like a virtual reality when we're communicating these ideas, when we're grappling with how to connect with one another, when it usually turns into fighting. We're all like struggling with this algorithmic like existence, and then when it comes to IRL, it goes crazy because people don't know how to function, I think, or process. Anything feels weird when like it goes from one medium to the real life. Like it's just hard to adjust to. Well, I'm grateful for how our transition to
thank
IRL
God.
happened. Yeah, I was nervous.
It's very like, it is dating to a certain extent.
It is like a Tinder match, and then it's like, now they're
Except
gonna actualize.
way more intense because you're like, I've been following you for so long.
Right.
I've been watching your spirals.
Yeah.
I've been watching your selfies.
And now it's actualizing. Now it's embodied in like a complex, like moving person. There's only a part of that person. That's like a curated, segmented, like coded part of that person.
And sometimes you're like, let's keep it there. Also the canceling.
Yeah.
That will do it to me. When someone really transgresses in a real way, that's something different.
Yeah.
But just to like, you said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Or you didn't say the right thing enough. People are like, you haven't been posting about this particular. I'm like, I don't know enough.
Right.
It's not my place. That kind of stuff will really get to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like really stripping you of humanity, which is like fun in games. We're playing with Persona. We're playing with like two-dimensional, like that game. But some people take it really far. Yeah.
It's this weird like self-importance of like, well, it's I guess like the cliche of like people acting like they're the judge. It's a court of law, they're the judge or they're the jury, and like they decide. It's like that classic dynamic. And the idea that your content or how your self-presentation online is being scrutinized for its omissions, and then there's like bad faith about what that would mean is weird. And especially when it's like, or I'm a real person grappling with this news or this context or this history in my own, like, how am I supposed to be an expert on this now? Yeah, is this whole way that we interact now like kind of a dehumanizing experience a little bit?
That's like the irony poisoning thing.
Yeah.
That comes from the shit posting. It really leads you down a dark path. And you're like, how did I get here? How did I get around these people?
Yeah.
Where nothing is sincere. I don't know where I stand.
We talked about this. There's like an edgelord vibe that I do avoid because of like how it makes me feel, and like this is gonna sound corny, but you know what, that's fine. I feel because I feel like a spiritual like
no, that's like, you should lean into that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I kind of trust it. I actually trust
it.
I
don't sometimes. That's why I get into some sticky situations.
Oh, I was just gonna say, can you define edgelord?
It's like a mix of different like cultures that have been brewing on the internet. And yeah, it's like an aversion to sincerity, aversion to vulnerability. You're like, we don't fuck with that shit. Most of the time I've used it's like a form of self-protection. It's like self-preservation of like, well, if I'm not vulnerable, you can't, I give you no opening to like hurt me.
Yeah, well, and then that makes sense that it's such an internet phenomenon, because being on the internet, making content, opening yourself, sharing your ideas is really vulnerable. So it is like a reactionary sort of like function.
I dip toes in like all these different worlds, so like those people know who I am, but they like don't outwardly fuck with me, and it's like, I peep that anyway. You know, they'll like a thing or share a thing here and there, but like we don't talk.
Wow.
Because there's already that vibe of like we're in different cliques. You
know? It is cliquey.
But I don't like that. I'm like, I would be down. Like, let me go on the pod, like, period.
Yeah, you're like an open person.
I'm down for the clout. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If we can collab and make something better, like, why not?
Right.
Why do this weird, like, you know?
Yeah, you can't play in my sandbox kind of thing. Like all of this clout building and these spaces, these are games, and then like little, and it's happening like on the algorithm.
But it's weird because it's stratified. It's like this weird stratification, even though like memes are supposed to be like equalizers.
But that's where like there's a capitalism, I think, intrinsic to social media that we were also talking about.
It's like inescapable. Even memes.
Yeah.
It's the black hole.
Well, that's the concern I have actually about the way the internet functions, where it's like what you were saying too about how it becomes kind of like, this is my like tribe of like ideology, this is that, and like I kind of feel like it could be more of a fluid exchange too.
I feel like I try to do that.
I think you do.
And I think it reflects in my followers.
Yeah.
There's all different kinds of people from everywhere. To think that someone in a country I've never visited is like aware of what I'm like thinking. Not necessarily even doing, like just like what I'm thinking about. And they're like, I have thought about the same thing.
Is that one of the things that makes it rewarding and like exciting for you?
Yeah, you're exchanging ideas with people and it's like genuine, and people don't have this crazy guard up of like, it's a gotcha moment, you're trying to get me.
How have you changed through the years running your account?
I'm way more paranoid. About people's intentions, which is insane to think about. Like, oh, you just want to be friends with me? A meme page, you don't really like me. But like, it happened.
Yes.
I thought it was a joke and then it happened to me.
Right.
And I was like, wait, you actually don't care about me as a person. You just thought it would be fun to like tag me in real life right next to you and be like, we're hanging out. Everyone's just out to get something in bad faith. And there's no point in trying to like be genuine, which feeds into the edgelordism.
Yeah.
Which is like, why even bother being sincere if people are just gonna like be fake? In good ways, definitely has helped my confidence of just like having something that's mine is like this thing that I've built from like nothing. Seeing your growth in that sense, not just in a follower count way, but like of what you're able to do now, and it means something to people.
Because I agree with you. You said it's helped your confidence. You're also more paranoid. I think my anxiety has fucking skyrocketed, but also my confidence has too.
A confident psycho, just like, everybody wants me, what the fuck?
The part of it that's good and like feels good is real, and when you kind of tap into that like cycle, it can be so enriching. I'm sure you have like moments of flow where you're like, I fucking love finding this interesting shit online and like then bringing it with my own voice. And like I feel that way when I'm like, oh my god, like these connections are real. They're actually these people are an interesting prism, and like it's helping me understand bigger systems.
It's kind of manic.
Yes.
Shout out to Kanye. That meme of the guy, you don't understand. I'm fine, I'm figuring it out.
And you feel like everything's connected, and you do see that
because
it
is.
Yes, and you can see it and feel it, and that's like the high point. But then the darkness, I think, is when it collapses on itself, and then there's fatigue. It's the crash. And that flat feeling, I feel like I know what you're talking about. Are these kind of just a bunch of like avatars that are looking at themselves? You know what I mean?
That's the NPC shit.
What's an NPC?
A non-playable character. People who've red-pilled, they think they have, and they're like on some other level, and they'll interact with like someone from high school and be like, that's an NPC. They just don't, they're not vibrating as high as I am.
Yeah.
It's like, they're just not on the internet as much as you.
Yeah.
They got married after high school. Like, they're normal.
But they're not in the game.
And to like shame someone for that. To be like, what a weirdo. You're the weirdo. They have children.
Who's really won here?
I feel that a lot sometimes. It's like the GTA characters are like walking into the wall. While you're like beating someone's grandma. And you're just like, what the fuck are they doing? I'm playing the game.
Right, I'm in the game
right.
though.
It's some only child shit.
How has being an only child informed your
It fucking
experience?
sucks. I feel like the Jesus vibe. Like, this is my cross to bear. You will never understand me.
Yeah.
I'm like sad in a way that you will never get. A loneliness that like it just permeates to everything. Lone wolf vibe.
I have a lot of only children as clients who describe this pervasive loneliness. It sounds like there's two sides of the coin, where it's also a unique independence that other people can't understand either. Like you're really able to self-regulate and create inner worlds that are rich and entertaining. I have the sense that informs your work from my experience of it.
And that's like a weird like dynamic that I have with friends who aren't only children, because I do sense like a codependency that like sets us apart. And that's always been the case for me. Like in school, I was never part of like any particular group. I would like float.
So diversifying in a way is a safe thing, because if like things don't happen with this group or there's not full safety there, you know that you're independent, but there's also the full spectrum of experience.
Exactly. I also feel that way like culturally too.
Yeah.
Like obviously I'm Dominican, I'm from New York, and like I make that obvious, but I'm also like, white people love this shit, bro. Like they be fucking with that.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
Which like has been an issue identity-wise for me. It's another internet kind of phenomenon of authenticity. And like if you're not authentic enough and just like code switching, I've like tried my best to like not do that.
So there's a thing on the internet that you've experienced or seen of like people, it seems like they want to peg you. So it's like where...
Hey.
Like peg.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're left with.
Okay. I'm glad you guys all got to connect. I always bring things back to like the influence of medium itself and algorithm itself. So it's almost like this thing of like, we don't know like how you fit into the algorithm to catch you, like what world like you need to like kind of like be in a way.
Because I don't want to be.
Right, you don't want, right, you resist that.
Like a little gremlin.
Yeah.
In the 010101.
Yeah, I love that image. Since we started talking, you've used like a lot of like the sandbox one really stuck with me, and now the gremlin and the zeros and ones.
And a lot of film.
Yeah, tell me about that.
I think in film.
Is that part of your kind of vision of your future?
Film is definitely a goal, a dream, a like fantasy.
Yeah.
I would love to write just anything.
Yeah.
Other than a caption.
Yeah.
My brain just doesn't work in long form anymore. It's like, it's so sad.
That's another internet thing. Like your brain short circuits after you get used to the briefness of it all.
The form.
Yeah.
Like, what is punctuation?
The forms are now shaping how we think and express ourselves.
Besides what I do on my own, I did actually have a real job, okay, in social media at Democracy Now! Everything's curated. It's still a narrative that they're building.
It will always be.
If anything, it's scarier because it's like global.
Yeah.
That's where I got blackpilled. Everything is just like a little, here's as a treat. Here's some human rights as a treat. Or as a way to like move the chess piece so they can still get what they want.
But it's
DJ
real.
Khaled they.
Well, that's like where we do get into like the hyper real and the idea that like,
that's the word.
because it all is. In the world we live in today now, it literally all is, honestly.
I'm like, coming into his building, that's hyper real.
Well,
that little bloop, open. No way. That should not be allowed. That's witchcraft.
When there's such control of all these representations, the representations can be curated, controlled, and then whatever reality is beneath that is not going to be noticed or observed or at all immortalized or remembered because the representations are what lasted. Kanye's childhood home being a replica is like, that's going to be the memory, not his actual childhood home is the best example of like the hyper real that I have, but that's our whole lives.
She knows.
She knows.
She perked up.
We're like, thank you, coders.
Doesn't it feel like we are just by being entrenched in the meme world that we are in?
Do you believe we live in a simulation is what we're trying to ask.
I mean, not in the like the Matrix sense. We build it as we speak into existence every day, which is kind of what celebrity is. This person Kanye just decided he's a genius and we're just like, fuck it. Which is something I really envy about him.
Yeah.
I really lack that kind of like yeah, it's me. I am the one.
I mean, that's where being, I think, a man, that stuff is kind of entrenched too.
Right, that's what it is.
There is that boldness there, I think.
Because they're just smarter.
What are your thoughts on Kanye and the Kardashians?
I definitely started out as a hater of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I came to it on my own and started watching the show by myself, I was like, wait, I got the feeling that you probably got of just like that eerie kind of like, it's like watching a Lynch film.
Yes.
Just like the theme of his films, like uncovering under the shiny veneer, going into the ear vibe. That's from Blue Velvet. And that's the feeling that I got. And I was like, okay, I fuck with this.
I think that overlay of like Kanye's influence really amplified it, but they're doing that for sure. And then you're inclined to try to like unravel it.
No, that's like what you feel when you watch the show. Yeah.
Some people don't though. And those are NPCs. Now I look at people who shit on it and I'm like, you don't know anything.
That's how I feel too. You were talking about Kanye's only child energy.
Yes. As an only child, I watched like the Brady Bunch and like the perfect picturesque TV family and like what it would be like, you know, and the way he just like wrote himself into the Kardashians in that way and was like strategic.
Yeah.
But like, I am going to be her husband. She's with a football player right now. I'm a nerd, he's a jock. I'm the underdog and I'm gonna get the girl. And I really identify with that.
Like kind of the outsider figure too. And like that narrative that was built in his mind that then he created. And as you said before, he like jumped into the show.
While also trying to be like, I don't wanna be on it.
Yeah.
He's like, I literally just want to be puppet master. The sadness that you see in him because he still grew up the way he did. He didn't have Kim's childhood. Yeah. Where it was like a dad and a mom and a sister and a brother and a dog and all this like privilege and like easygoingness. Like, no, it was rough.
Yes.
And like, you can't unlearn or unfeel that.
He's a prism in its own way. Like, people have different reactions to him. It sounds like for you, you identify the sadness in Kanye, and there's like a sadness for you with him.
He's literally on his knees.
Yeah.
In a stadium.
Yeah.
Crying.
Oh my gosh, like you said, like sometimes it full circles for you where you're like, oh, I feel like I'm living my username. Kanye fully performs the essence of what you sense in him in a real way. Wow.
What is a meme?
Yes.
A meme?
No, it's an interview like this.
Something on the interweb that makes people laugh that has to do with images, and I'm stressed.
They're just like little jokes that take just the form of a picture.
Digital images that are getting shared by people that usually have some kind of pop culture reference of some kind.
It's an image or video on the internet that everyone knows.
Yeah, like a collective inside joke.
Yeah.
Funny pictures on the internet.
Visual commentaries about life, different aspects of life, just using very shortened keywords and phrases.
It could be something funny, something meaningful, just to, I guess, like help people get through life.
And then people get hella creative with what they throw on top of the image, and then that brings humor to the deep, dark corners of the internet and people's lives.
What does this meme mean to you?
I am kind of stumped.
It's kind of like self-awareness kind of meme.
Existential crisis, escaping your real life body, you know, detachment.
I feel like, this is the world that I live in. But you're like, no, you're not. You don't really live there, but you can dream it.
The world we like imagine in our head is one like we try to replicate in real life, but sometimes we don't realize that.
It's like the life you wish you were leading.
I don't know, you judging yourself.
Yeah, you don't do in real life what you imagine.
Like aspirations and the reality of them.
Wishing and hoping. Live your life, it doesn't really matter. There's a bigger, I guess, like something bigger.
Do you guys share memes?
All the
Like literally, is that the base of our like sisterhood?
Yes. What is your favorite go-to meme?
Oh man, anything with like Patrick or SpongeBob.
Do you have a similar taste in memes? I like the Mr. Krabs meme.
Oh, that one, yeah. I like the stoner dude, and he's like,
oh yeah.
and I don't know, he's just always accurate.
I love a good Nene Leakes meme.
Like anything like animal related, I think is one.
I like Feo.
Or even like a good Kris Jenner meme sends me.
I can't really categorize it.
It just kind of changes with the mood.
What's your favorite go-to meme?
Oh, I don't have one. I'm not really a meme person.
Why not?
I don't know. It doesn't add value to my life.
Have you ever related to a meme?
Yeah, but like it's just a bit of a waste of time. Really? Yeah, that's what I think.
I'm shocked.
Okay, so we've been talking about living in a game all day. Let's play Kim K. Hollywood.
I feel like we didn't talk enough about her body and like her aesthetic.
I know.
The beige.
There's so much beige. Let's just randomize her. Oh.
Is this your store? Are you open? I could really use your help.
Her actual voice.
Her in the booth.
Literally.
Is that good? Another take? Okay.
Goals and achievements. This is such like hustle culture.
Gotta get that clap.
People have told me though that this is like, they found it really addictive.
Okay, well, what can I afford?
Right.
This is like shopping in real life.
Right, no, exactly. They like mirror it.
This is ugly. Oh, no.
Oh my God, so they were about to make us buy.
Yeah.
They were gonna make us buy. I want to intellectualize this, but I don't know how, but there's so much to say about it. I literally don't know how.
Use the bus stop to travel to Beverly Hills. Bitch, I'm taking the bus. I'm struggling.
Oh, so she's getting it. Oh, cool. Photo shoot. That's an interesting little twist, is that now the photo shoot is for the main character. Now we're the main character.
Main character moment.
Yeah. So really there's just a pleasure in just like the tapping.
We should set you up with a manager.
Simon Orsic. So like it also name drops in the game / like endows people with more clout. It follows like a true narrative. Kardashian, like a Hollywood sign. Oh my God. The difference between, there's an option between flirt or network.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say.
I think the hybrid model too of sometimes you have to pay with your own money and sometimes you're paying with like virtual money is its own like
I'm so
manipulation.
happy.
Clearly Paris.
Oh. She said, so what? I'm much too good for you. Gutter trash.
It's kind of like enacting like how they got famous.
Right, like a BTS that we don't actually get in the show of like the machinations of the next steps and the chasing it.
To go back to Hollywood, but I'm in downtown LA.
I know, that's like a whole thing.
Which bus we taking you on?
So just made a little more cash. Oh. This is like a mini trip to Vegas right now. I mean, is this our cue? We did it. We tried to make it in Hollywood.
Do you remember the lightning round questions?
Kind of. Lightning round. What's your personal brand?
Humor.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the perfect answer. Because that takes it full circle from like everything we just talked about together of like what your process has been. It's like you kind of just want to vibe and like see the humor in things. Which Kardashian are you?
I want to say Kylie. Because she's really goofy, and then she felt like she had to kind of repress that.
Yeah.
Because people were like, what the hell is that? Girl, you're weird. And that was like her vulnerability that she started to kind of slowly reel in.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, it's not a safe space for that. And I'm always like interrogating that with myself of like, how much can I give versus I want to be respected.
Have you ever experienced a glitch in the simulation?
Every day.
God bless. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
I really had so much fun with you.
We will only hang out on camera from here on out, or else it's a waste.
Otherwise, it's not real. It didn't happen.
What's the point?
Yep.
That's a wrap. Thanks, Rocky.
Thanks, Rocky.
Yay!
She knows we're clapping for her.